Hello and welcome back to the Argonian adventures. Last time we expanded into this little bit of territory here, and we have been invited to our half-brother's feast. Now there are a whole bunch of questions in the comments that we could be going over right now, but I'm recording this video pretty late and I want to advance time a little bit, so we're gonna just get right into it. So let's get going. Fantastic. It has been pointed out, by the way, the music's a little bit loud in some places. I did notice that when it was playing the main Elder Scrolls theme, that appears to be a little bit louder. I'll try and keep an eye out for it and maybe lower the music in that section if it pops up. But anyway, a night to forget. While wandering through Wa Zazu, I crossed paths with a disheveled mage who appears to be nursing a severe hangover. He confessed to a night of excess revelry, during which he imbibed far more than advisable. Regrettably, in his inebriated state, he managed to misplace a collection of valuable magical relics. Now he's plagued by anxiety, fearing that his dream of securing an apprenticeship under a great local mage may have been irrevocably shattered. So, this was added from Elder Kings 2. It was just thought I'd double check because it was talking about magical relics, and you can actually tell that for yourself. Anytime this symbol pops up, it'll be from Elder Kings 2. They basically added it in the same way that the DLC adds these, so it's on the main page for selecting your character. It has Elder Kings listed as DLC, which then means that all the events can be linked to it, so you can see like this is a new event. So if you're interested on finding that out. It also tells you what events come from different DLCs, which is useful if you want to know that. So how much is our help worth? So we can delay 7 days, get 20 gold, and we get a weak hook on Wadnesus. Do we want Wadnesus? If we want them, we could get a hook on them and try and draw them into court. Are they good enough to fight in our army? We only have 6, so 1, 2... Yes, actually, they would be the third best fighter in our army. So even with that, it's worth grabbing them. So yeah, that would be good. How grateful will you be? So you can recruit them to your travel entourage. But we can also do that with the weak hook and we get 20 gold. Or we're in a hurry. I'm not in a hurry. I think we're good. Let's say how much is our help worth? That gives us the hook. We can then invite them to court using the hook. So yeah, we get both of them. Okay. Anyway, that seems pretty good to me. We have to wait 7 days, but that's fine. Danger, tempting fruit. Our road takes us through treacherous parts of Wa Zazu. While I scan for any dangers ahead, a rustling bush grabs my attention. Could it be a wild animal? As I brace myself for impact, Melnie jumps out of the bush instead, holding a plant. You scared me, Melnie. Anyway, let's see what you have here. Some kind of fruit? I exclaim. Yes, it looks and smells so delicious. I wonder what it tastes like. Maybe I'll just take a little bite, she says. So we can say, hold on, what if it's poisonous, or we let her eat it? Well, okay. We could get an unknown plant rash, or we let her eat it. Well, we're not cautious, so I'm just going to let her eat it. It was harmless. Okay, cool. That's fine. Right. And now we have arrived at our destination. Making time. We have a lovely time ahead of us. Right. Only a few days till the feast begins because he hasn't really invited anyone from that far away. And every guest is gathered. Let's see how the feast goes. What right does Yexil think he has to claim that my ideas of warfare are misguided? Claiming that my ideas would break down the moment combat is met? What does he know, really? I would love a chance to settle this on the battlefield. So, at least Yexil showed that you were able to defend your understanding of the martial lifestyle. So, we get a +5 on the maximum battle roll, which is good, and 10% army movement speed. We also get some martial lifestyle experience in return for losing 20 opinion with somebody I don't care about. So, that seems pretty good. That's a very nice little thing there. A pleasing atmosphere. So I believe this is the generic feast one, but we'll read through it. Is there anything more jovial than a good feast? Guests throng to and fro, eating and chatting, while flickering torchlight plays off every wall, light bouncing like laughter around the hall. We're a motley band, it's true, but here and now, I feel like this party could take on the world and win. Sometimes it's nice to simply sit back and enjoy the little things in life. So, This is a trait, or this is an event that you get every single time you do a feast. And you can either choose to lose a ton of stress, lose a little stress, but gain opinion with guests who have similar traits to you. Or you can, well, actually, usually this one doesn't let you lose any stress, but we can because we're arrogant. Or you can gain prestige. Well, I'm not actually that worried about our stress. I think I'll just choose the bottom one. I really want to get some prestige, because I'm not entirely sure that these men-at-arms will reinforce if we're at negative prestige, given that prestige is what we use for maintenance, so... yeah. Let's invest a little bit there. While I'm talking to people over dinner, Kal Usha leans over. I wish I knew how to sound as clever as you do, Raj Kal Bimja. I wipe the soup off my chin and smile an intelligent-looking smile. That was my half-brother who invited us. Okay, cool. So we get some opinion and we get a bunch of prestige. A threnody to lost love? The guests fell silent as grieving chords started resonating in the feast hall. Some of the more sensitive participants started sobbing while reminiscing those who departed just too soon as the bard continued singing this poem of lost love upon stormy seas. This woeful song instantly reminds me of the time when my daughter, Hatchling, was recruited into the Shadow Scales. But that's... okay. While hearing the song, I can feel tears falling down my cheeks against my will. No one shares my burden, I am truly alone. So I get the feeling that this is a standard or vanilla CK3 event, which has been a little bit weirdly co-opted by the mod, because I think that this is meant to say your daughter name, and then the reason why they were killed, or like the reason why they died, like succumbed to illness. But the fact it says was recruited into the Shadow Scales, that's not really the same kind of thing. And I think it's because they technically die, like the character gets killed, but the character isn't actually dead, they're just a member of the Shadow Scales. It's kind of weird. Anyway, your death haunts me. I guess I'll just take a stress hit for that. Okay. Mental break, wanton desires. Lately it feels like I'm constantly being distracted by lascivious thoughts and erotic fantasies. With all the hardships of my everyday life, it is all too easy to lose myself in daydreams and forget about reality. These desires are clearly interfering with my life, but what should I do about them? A trip to the brothel. Maybe we should convert to the cult of Hermaeus Mora, or I'll bite my lip. Okay. I don't think it's time to convert to a, I don't think it's time to convert to a cult. I don't think we need to do that. We haven't really explored being an Argonian yet. A trip to the brothel, we could become rakish. It's not the worst thing in the world. Or I'll bite my lip. Rakish would give us a little bit more intrigue, I suppose. And we lose some diplomacy, of which we have none. So that's pretty, I think that would be okay. I'm going to go to the brothel. That's our way of solving our problems. Tree Minder, Caxuli. I think it's meant to say something that they said, but there's nothing here. It's a decent speech, if a little long-winded, but that's usually how these things go. The assembled guests clap and whoop politely when it finishes, some more enthusiastically than others. We can say, hear, hear. They've already gained prestige, they're highly esteemed, and get some opinion, or it's exactly the same, so I will say, hear, hear. Okay. Daylight pours through the windows, and in just one moment the whole hall becomes illuminated. Most of the seats are now empty. Some servants hand me my weapons and take their leave with a cheery bow. What a pleasure it was to have you with us, Karl Usha smiles at me. What a feast! Before coming, my clothes were slack and ill-fitting. Now I stagger out of Karl Usha's halls twice as full of food and merriment as when I arrived. This was a feast I will struggle to forget. But now I must depart. Hey, that gave me enough legitimacy to move us up to recognized. And a little bit of the eager reveler trait, although I don't think we actually have that trait yet. No, we do have rakish though. We're rakish and melancholic. And there's a faction created against our king. Your cousin, Princess Hatchling, created the faction to instill Princess Hatchling of Shays Creek on the Thorn Throne. Huh. Okay. Interesting. Well, that's all fine. Yeah. What does level 2 get us? Oh, so apparently we don't have enough for level 2. It calculated it incorrectly. Level 2 would get us stuff if we were actually there. Okay. Against our liege. So this is not super strong, but if we were to join, this would potentially have a chance of working. Now, I don't really care whether Princess Hatchling or her father is in charge, so I'm not going to join it, but anyway. Oh, you cannot... It's not possible to start or join a faction against a friend. I didn't know that. Oh. Okay. Cool. I'll just lock that one away in the memory banks for later. Okay. Cool. Right. Carrying on, we're heading back. This is a dangerous province. We might get another event in it. Looking at the stars. This again was added by Elder Kings. It's a clear sky under which we've chosen to set up our camp for the night. Exhausted from a long day of traveling, I lie down near the fire, gazing up at the strange and wondrous world above us, the realm of the constellations that watch over us, guarding us from the even stranger things that lie beyond their borders, every star representing certain strengths and attributes which help us navigate the challenges of our lives. I've carried my own blessing since birth, but I've never taken the time to fully contemplate about it. This is a rare opportunity to gain a broader understanding of the stars and their role in Mundus, but I also sense the weariness from the day's struggles weighing on me. So here, we could actually go constellation in like this, and we can see a whole bunch, and you can actually go even deeper, so you can see absolutely what everything has in terms of lore. And actually, you can go even further in lore. Somebody was asking whether you can see the lore of the religions, and you can, and we may even look into them at some point, but if we take our faith here, you can see that there's a huge amount of lore for this faith, and then each of these individual ones also has lore. And then, let's say that there's another bit in here that you might have information on. There's then more lore here, and then there's more lore here, and then there's more lore here. And then you can go like here, and here, and then you can go to find out more about things in the lore compendium. Then you can go to the Dawn era, the Mytheric era. There's a lot of lore in this. There's a ton of lore in this mod. So if you're really interested in the lore and knowing exactly what you're doing at any moment, there is a ton of info for you to work off of. Anyway, so we can reflect about the current constellation and gain Lord's Boon. What is our constellation, by the way? Maybe we should start looking at this. The Thief. Imja was born under the Thief. To the Reach folk, it is known as the Hunter. So what is the Thief? The Thief is a guardian constellation with the Lover, Shadow and Tower as its charges. Those born under this sign are said to take risks more often and rarely come to harm. They'll run out of luck eventually, however, and are said to rarely live as long as those born under other signs. Okay, so we're a bit more of a risk taker, apparently. Okay. So we can go to sleep and lose stress, or we can gain the Lord's Boon. I will gain the Lord's Boon, because we have no stress. Another Elder Kings event. Argonians of the Marsh. While Argonians are not exceedingly rare in the murk of the Black Marsh, they do not pose a perpetual threat to explorations, although they do seem to have a proclivity for congregating near the most interesting places in their vicinity. Wuxia Li was surprised by one of these hulking, headless creatures while investigating some interesting ruins in our path. Our safety depended on a swift decision. Then say I have to save myself, or this walking pile of compost is no match for me. Well, you see here, we are brave. So, a walking pile of compost is no match for me. Okay, so that was a 28% chance of a 28% chance. So it was 60% chance that it worked, 28% chance that the guy just died, 28% chance that it went into the final bit, which then had another, I think it had another percent chance. So it was like 28% chance, so like 1/4 that it went in somewhere, then like 1/4 that we died again. But, so we died. We were mauled to death by a Mirgaunt. I guess it was correct. We tend to live less long. Rajkal Bimja of the Su Zalil Atalil has crossed the door to the world of spirits at 34 years of age. He was mauled to death by a Mirgaunt, a tormented man. He had long desired the sweet embrace of death. Rajnasa Hatchling ascends to the throne. Having mastered many skills, she is sure to be admired by her subjects. She's 3 years old. What do you mean she's mastered many skills? She is very good. She has mastered many skills at 3. She can stand up, walk, and sometimes talk. Anyway, we inherit all the titles, and that's it. So, Brand-Shei died after 8 years. Beamja died after 7 years. So I guess that means we're going to die when we're 9. But, yeah, not ideal, I would say. Law removed autonomous vassals. There was a theory about this, apparently, that somebody had. They were suggesting that because this is a castle holding, we would have the higher level of... We would be in, like, a feudal crown authority. But because we're not allowed to be in a feudal, like, government type, it says it's no longer valid because we've been moved back to a tribal thing or something like that. It made sort of sense. I began sharing power, and I have a new sap seeker. So who am I sharing? I'm sharing power with my uncle and regent and player heir. Oh, and he's self-interested. Lovely. Do we know anything about ourselves currently? We're curious. We're born under the mage birth sign. The hatchling was born under the mage. To the reach folk it is known as the witch. Alright, so what is the mage? The mage is a guardian constellation with the apprentice Atronach and ritual as its charges. Those born under the sign are said to have an innate talent for spellcasting, but also to risk losing their attachment to worldly matters. Oh, okay. So potentially we could be good at spellcasting if we got a little bit more arcana. Okay, interesting. Who is our... We have a guardian, right? No, we don't have a guardian. We could find a guardian, potentially. What are you doing in my court? Get out of here. I said get out of here and then immediately checked if he was a magic user. Okay, so let's assume that our guardian, because we won't know as soon as possible, is going to be whoever this guy might assign. He is brave, stubborn, and impatient. I have no idea what that would mean for him assigning someone. He was born under the apprentice. Okay, what's the apprentice? Charge of the mage. Those born under this sign are said to have a special affinity for magic of all kinds. Oh, so both of us have a magic thing. Neither of which matter. Okay. What do we think we're going to do? I think we could end up doing diplomacy. We could... Well, does this tell us what we're good at so far? Yeah, diplomacy or learning, currently. So if I feel like we're going to be good at diplomacy, we could potentially go for somebody like this, actually. Our Root Herald is intelligent. Wait, is she the only one who has a trait? Yeah, she's the only one who has a trait. So intelligent is one of the traits which is good for educating. So our Root Herald is going to be the person to educate us. We will not be trained in Magicka, but I think that's okay. I think that the chances of us being trained in Magicka were low. Right. I'd rather just have a good trait, to be honest, and maybe survive for like more than 10 years. New steward is needed. You are the best and you're a powerful vassal, so I mean, I guess you should be our steward. That makes sense to me. All of these seem to make sense to me currently. Okay, cool. Anything else that we need to do immediately? No, Dress Hunter needs a worthy successor. I will seek a worthy successor. Beyond that, I think that is us in terms of what we need to do here. We have no education focus, but we shouldn't need to pick one until we're 6. We should have basically nothing in our inventory. Yep, just the one thing. So I'm just going to go speed 5, and then we're just going to advance, basically. Not a lot to do. Willibun he's a good fighter, but he's a dress, or no, he's not. He's a Dunmer. He's not allowed in our court. Well, we don't actually have any prestige to kick him out, so... Okay. Faction created against you. Your uncle created the faction to install Khal Usha of Zal Haj I on the Altan Torment throne against you. Okay. So that is our uncle, who is also our regent, who is saying that he should be in charge. I'm not a huge fan of that, personally. We do have a little bit of money. Is there anything we can upgrade? No. We could potentially construct a new holding here, but I also don't have any money to do that either. So, cool. I'm going to unpause and let time move on. Sharp Eye may be appointed as a dress hunter. He seems pretty good. Yeah, I'm going to put Sharp Eye in here. If we can. Yes. You shall be the next dress hunter. I also need to force you to be a champion, but that's okay. Right. Previously leadership, the High Velothi Shamans have made Milu their new prophet. Oh, is that what you guys follow? No, you follow the Tribunal cult. I see. I've been corresponding with your root herald, Makna. I must say I've come to see you in a new light. Perhaps you are even someone that one day I would be proud to call my friend. Well, isn't that nice, neighboring ruler? Okay. Wow, he swung the scales of power against us twice? Okay. And it's now reached the next tier, so he now has more powers. What can he do? He can try to give negative county modifiers to fellow vassals, and the entrenched regency needs the regent's consent to be dismissed. And they get an extra free change to their vassal contract if it can still be edited. Maybe I want to change your vassal contract? Well, honestly, I don't know what you're going to put in here, so you know what? Do what you like. It's fine. Okay. Ooh. House Halu. Something happened up here. I'm sure there wasn't nearly as much yellow to the left of me than there was now. Regent unsuccessfully furthers mandate, so he's a failed recruiter. There's an abuse of power. Do I want you to be swelling my armies? I think I would prefer you to be earning me some money, or perhaps making characters leave factions. Yeah, free domain development? Yeah, sure, let's try and fill coffers. How old are we now? 4. Wonderful. Great news. Well, it's going to be a little bit slower for a second or two as we come of age again. Hey, we lost unsafe highways. That gives us more development growth, popular opinion, and less danger. So does that mean that we've got rid of all the negative corruption things here? No, we still have a Thieves Guild, which is lowering development growth by a lot, but we're getting there. We're slowly turning this province around, which is kind of what we're after. Cool. How long is it going to take, by the way? Still 7 years. Okay. We're still converting Stormhold as well. It'll be converted in 2 years' time. How's the faction looking? It's not looking strong enough to fire, and that's all we really need to know about it, isn't it? Okay. You have quite a lot of money, but nothing to spend it on. Hist Exaltation. Any sensible scholar knows that the divine will is inscrutable and ever-changing, yet only a few exemplify its nature as Sap Speaker Teba Maka. The Sap Seeker of Thorn has gained a reputation for her quick and enigmatic judgment, so much so that many have come to think she has been touched by the Hiss. Oh, so that's our Sap Seeker's raised Hist's fervor. There is a tournament over here, apparently. Ooh, okay. I can't do anything with it, but there is a tournament. That's cool. Are you doing anything? No? No? Wait, did you always hold that land at the south? Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I'm wondering whether they did, actually. No, you definitely did not hold all this land at the south, did you? No, did these guys just voluntarily become part of this land? They might have. I'm starting to go crazy. Anyway, it's fine. And whether they did or didn't, it doesn't really matter. They're part of the land now, which is good. Cool. How are things going over here? Lots of like minor wars are all over the place. Oh wow, you can see that. See, land over here is changing all the time. You have just expanded. Okay, cool. We're continuing to chill. Faction created against us to install NASA Hatchling, our aunt, in charge. Hey, we lost the Thieves Guild, which means we get more holding taxes, development growth, and less danger. So this holding is now a lot better than it was, and we're now actually gaining development growth per month. So that's now starting to start ticking up. It's going to make the holding very much better. We're also starting to get more money each month off of that. This holding is starting to be really good. Oh, wow. This one's so much stronger. Why? Are you just stronger than he is? Yeah, by about 30 troops. Okay. Not a lot I can do about it. I mean, I'm going to keep saving money. I have nothing to spend it on. I might as well spend it on mercenaries. Blossoming friendship. Do I want to be friends with Hatchling Thack? I've played together with Hatchling Thak a lot lately. The other day he even let me borrow his favourite wooden sword. We really get along, we're having so much fun. He is always up to something and the time we spend together is never boring. Sure, we'll make friends with him. That sounds fine. Hey, somebody paid 50 gold to us. It was an abuse of power, but what do I care? I can't swing the scales because I'm not at least 8 years old. Wow, he is rapidly ramping up the Regency scales, isn't he? Okay, he's now more powerful. Generous or greedy? It is a rare occasion that I manage to slip by all my attendants unnoticed and secure a few precious moments to myself. A chance to finally feel like the other children of my realm. Clutching my wooden sword, I walk the streets of Stormhold, taking in all the sights and smells. People are bustling about, merchants hawking their wares. I come upon a sickly-looking peasant child holed up in the corner of an alleyway. So I can become generous, I can become greedy, or I can remain silent. I think we're going to become generous, and here's my logic. I know it's bad for monthly income, but if we are a character who has, like, that our grandfather was the revolutionary, our father fought against the former slavers, it would seem to me that a natural place for us to be might be a generous person to sickly-looking peasant children. So, yeah, we're going to do this. I don't like this. I think greedy is a much better trait because you get monthly income, and that's really good, but we're going to go generous. Here we go. It might have been better to choose neither, but I feel like that's just not really making a choice. Oh, we're 6 years old. We should have a thing. We're doing diplomacy. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to do out of those two. Okay, cool. Works for me. Alright then. Wait, when were we born, by the way? We were born in April. Neighboring ruler won a war. So these guys just won a war against these guys for a little bit of land. For this piece of land. Okay, cool. That's fine. I think they already held the land, so it must have been a defensive holy war. To my liege, the right to rule Zalil belongs to Nasa, Lutapeth of the Merciful Reduction by divine right. We have gathered support required to make it so. Support being her and... alright, so the support being Puyatha and Lutapeth. Okay. Accept this fact peacefully, or we will make you do so by force. So I can say, yeah, sure, no problem, or I will not be threatened. Well, we have a ton of money, so I will not be threatened. Rally the troops. How many do they have? They have 2,000. Okay, that's not as bad as it could be. Let's be honest, that could be much worse. To raise all, it's going to take us 2 days to raise all. We're also going to hire some mercenaries. Yeah, I'm going to hire these guys. Let's see how this looks for us just in a second. There we go. That gives us 2.3 thousand. How many are they looking at? They have about 2,000. I know it's a waste. I know we could spend the money more efficiently. I'm going to buy another set of mercenaries. I'm also going to make sure I buy these guys, because that gives us more Sax Leal ones. I noticed that these ones are giving us ones for the specific, like, that fit their culture. So if we go here, we can get the ones that are good in the Black Marsh. So yeah, I'm going to hire you. It's a little bit overkill, but I think that's fine. We may also be in other wars at some point. You're the best one that we have. You're my war teacher. I'm going to attack. Okay. This is fine. Let's go speed 5 for a second. How long is this going to take? 13 months. That's a little slow. I'm going to wait for them to go around to my capital, which, by the way, just finished converting to my culture. Wonderful. Okay, I'm going to get you. I'm going to promote culture in Seoul to my culture. There we go. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for them to siege, and I'm going to immediately turn. My uncle, Kal Usha, has honored me with a visit and has brought one of his courtiers along. Usha approaches me excitedly. Well met, Raj Nasa Hatchling. It pleases me to see you thriving here in Stormhold. It occurred to me that Deca here might be of service in your court. She is an incredibly talented steward, seemingly touched by Midas. I would make use of her myself, but alas, it doesn't seem possible. She is not Midas touched. That's level 4 education. She's only a thrifty clerk. I would hate to see her great talent go to waste. Won't you take her in and unleash her potential? And I guess we'll say yes, because it's our uncle and regent who's offering. Also, have you lost your arm or something? Yes, he has. Oh, okay. Deca, welcome to my court. So yeah, when these guys get to siege my capital, I'm gonna turn. My heir, Kal-Usha, has died? Now leaving the land to Nasa Melni? How did you die? Internal injuries. Oh. Well, there's a lot of death happening here. I can't help but notice. We have a new regent. Our new regent is Marna. Okay. Who is also our guardian. And she is situationally loyal to me. I see. Well, I mean, it's better than being self-interested, I guess. Right, turn and fight. We know they're going to our capital. Would love to fight them off a bit. Can I get here? I can, potentially. Is that the quickest? Is there any route getting there without going on the boats? Yeah, there is. There is a bridge. Subsidize liege authority. My liege, I have some proposals for tightening up the crown authority in the realm. All I need is your seal sitting alongside my own, of course, so that your vassals don't think you unjust. So I can get limited tribal authority. It has convenient scapegoat for 10 years. People kind of like me. Okay, that's fine. Or I can decline. Well, it's an abuse of power, but I'm going to accept it. I'm just going to accept whatever my regent says until I have a reason not to. Can I get you? I can. Perfect. We're going to catch them. Let's go. Caught their army. Defeated their army. Captured some enemy combatants as well. I'm going to head over here first. You're heading to this one. Head in here. Are you getting on boats or are you heading into that province? I think you're heading into that province. Chase them. Wonderful. We have caught them. We have defeated them. Do you have taking war score or something? You do. You get 32% from that siege. Okay, let's go get that siege back. War declared on liege. Princess Relital has declared her war. Okay. My courtier Nurwal and I are practicing our martial craft in the courtyard. Ugh, she grunts hard as I knock her to the ground. She gazes up at me in awe. You're handy with a weapon, hatchling. I wish I had half your skill. So I can become humble, or I can become arrogant. You know what? I'm going to be humble. Yeah. We're going to be the nice character after our previous two. So we're going to be fully humble. So we are humble, generous, and now curious as well. Okay, I need to win the siege. A watery witch. I'm having fun playing around in the bogs of Nenvia with my hatchling friend. We're so caught up in play that we don't even notice we become separated from Marna. All of a sudden, we see a watery bog witch rise from the sludge and slurry coated in mud. He glares at us. Before I know it, hatchling has already run off. Between the mud, I can see his skin and hair is milky white, but those red eyes are so filled with rage. Before I have a chance to take it in, he starts racing at me. My friend and guardian far away, it's just me and the witch, but what do I do? So I can run? Well, let's see what he wants. You know what? We're curious. Let's see what he wants. The good witch of the bog. When at last the witch finishes his approach, he swats at a bug on my face and wipes it on his tunic. Careful round these parts, young'un. Even the beasties will get you if you're not careful. I should know I've mended enough swollen cheeks of wayward travelers. Clearly not the monster I initially thought, he introduces himself as a local healer and magician, well versed in herbal medicine and ritualistic practices to exorcise spirits from people and objects. Perhaps this man could serve a more noble purpose. I could make him my physician. Potentially. Oh, he does do magic. Teach me your ways, O wise one. So I become his ward, he becomes my friend, and I become a witch, or whomever asked. You know what? You know what? Teach me your ways, O wise man. He is now my guardian. He is a worse guardian than the previous one. However, he is a witch. So, that's cool. He's introduced you to a new hobby. Witchcraft. It also gives us 4 arcana. We now, in theory, have enough to actually cast spells. Which is crazy. The Heal Flux spreads. Ooh, there is a little bit of a disease. So in terms of diseases, by the way, in terms of game rules, what I did for them is I made minor diseases less common and more dangerous diseases more common or could happen more often. The reason for this is that you just get spammed with minor diseases that don't really matter. I'd prefer if it tells me about a disease for us to actually have to look at it and go, oh, is this something important? Rather than it just being a constant stream of diseases, which is what it was previously. So, in case you're wondering why the ratio seems different from your games. Hey, we do actually have magicka. Wonderful. Does that mean that I can support a ritual? No, because I don't have any magic perks, I see. Yeah. But I do have a little bit of magic. Just a little bit. Okay. You're taking us back. That gives us a huge amount of war score, because it gives us... it takes away the 32% they had here, plus taking war score. They're heading to Seoul. Head to Seoul and beat them up. Right. Member of our house could be called in. I don't need to. I could also swing the power thing here. I don't really have anything. I could use my gold to swing it, but I don't have enough actually right now to swing that, so that's fine. Head down here. And beat him up. I've been playing with my friend for the better half of a day, and I've been having so much fun. We've played chess, and as our game comes to a close, he bests me and I'm left dumbstruck. That was fun. Now what should we do? My chance to pick something I may yet win. Let's race on stilts. Let's play teetotum, or everybody wins with puppets. Well, this is because I'm humble, so everybody wins with puppets. Nobody loses when you play puppets. Apparently. There we go. Follow them in here. And then in here. Cool, we're going to catch them. We're going to beat them due to having larger numbers, and we have now won. Which means that these guys cannot join factions for another 10 years. We imprison both of them, we gain dread, and we gain a little bit of legitimacy. So let's enforce our demands. Wonderful. That now means that we are level 2 legitimacy, which is where it expects us to be. We get no negatives here. Disband our armies, and just want to have a look at this. Yeah, it looks like our liege is going to win his war against the tyranny as well. Right, cool. Do we have any dangerous factions? We have a couple, but they're not that dangerous. Okay, awesome. Well, this seems like a good point to end the episode. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.